Hello everyone, good evening and welcome back to TMC. It is Friday night, back again for the TMC race, and we are around Vietnam, round number 10, so hopefully it's going to be a good race. A lot of drivers don't like this track. Me, I don't think it's too bad. We have 18 drivers though, so it's still a good turnout, so hopefully it's going to be good racing. But I actually do have a co-commentator this evening, which is a bit of a strange, but he is known as the Irish Statman. He knows all the stuff about the tracks, he knows most of the stuff about F1. I think he just sits up in front of the laptop and strokes his wee cat as well. It's only a wee cat joke, but he'll laugh when he says it. But yes, it is my fellow Irish colleague or commentator. It is Graham. Graham, would you like to say hello?
Hello. I also know where you live at night, so
you've probably looked up my address and everything.
I know it all, Dan.
Hi Graham, to be fair man, I can't blame you, but I'm trying to actually well, first off Graham, welcome back to the TMC commentary, because it's been a long time since me and you have actually have done this. And
God, when was the last time, do you think?
I don't even know. It's been, was it?
Maybe.
It's been a long time, but I did tell most of the guys that we were going to be commentating tonight, and a lot of them were excited, so hopefully they can put on a good show for us. But yeah, Graham, what do you expect? I don't know if you've watched much of the races so far in TMC, but if you have, who do you think is going to be like the dark horse tonight, and who do you think is going to be very strong to pick up a race win?
You always have to look at Casper, don't you, in terms of a driver who can steal one. Not even steal one, just run away at the front. I expect Calcer to be quite strong. I know he's just back in the game not too long, but he's able to pick it up and just get on top of things very quickly. So it would not surprise you to see Calcer kind of closer towards the front of the action tonight.
Yeah, and to be fair, he only jumped the reserve last minute as well, so I think Calcer will be up there because he shows that he's very consistent, even on a week. He's not that strong, but he is still shows very consistent pace. But to be fair, Scuba has showed all season that he's been consistent, and me and you both know him very well. He is a very quick driver, so I think he'll be up there as well. You can't also count out Matt either, because Matt over the past couple of league races has showed absolutely fantastic form. He's won in TMC, TTML the other night I think he won as well, so he's on a wee bit of a win streak, Matt is at the minute, so I think he'll be very strong this evening.
But I think Merck as well is going to be... He's a strong man in terms of pace, but just needs to hook up the consistency. So if Merck can hook it up tonight, he could be up there. He could be up there as well. Yeah,
and I think Kevin as well. Kevin just needs to work on his consistency, and he'll be there too as well. But I've just been currently watching Adam Echo on his lap. He's coming around the last corner now. He's going to do a 33.7, which I'm not sure if this is a good time or not, Graham. I hope you can even let me know if it's a good time.
We're going to find out. 33.7 for a beast. It's 6 hundredths there quicker than Adam. This is a track where it's kind of, I think you find a lot more time as the session kind of goes on, just in terms of finding your feet and just I guess finding the confidence, just getting the banker in, because the walls are very close around here. You can find yourself in one very easily. A lot of kind of places where it's tough to pick up the throttle, and you kind of get drift off wide. There's Coutinho, there's a 33.
That's a good lap from Coutinho.
So that's smash the current leader anyway. So I think it's a track where you're going to see a lot of improvement as it goes on. And there's another one, 32.8 for Casper.
Yeah, I'm also just watching Kieran Trapp round the last corner. He's on a 35.8 in a set of medium, so he's going for a wee bit of a different strategy to start off with. So most of the guys are starting on the softs, and Kieran's decided, you know what, let's just try a medium lap just to get a lap on the board. So hopefully he will definitely improve, but let's see how much he can improve by. But you were saying about Kelsper, that's an unbelievable banker lap of 32.8.
I'm just watching Matt come through as well. He's being sector 3. Be interesting benchmark to see where he kind of compares to Casper at this point in the session. But I just think his confidence grows in the session. You have a time on the board. I always think that's the most important thing. You just get a time on the board, and you have some sort of reference, and from there you can kind of push the limits a bit more. See what Matt's pushing the limits out of that last corner. Nice exit out there. 33 flash. So a couple of tenths off of Casper.
That was a very good lap from Matt. I think maybe the last sector he maybe could have pushed a wee more, and maybe would have gained maybe a couple of hundredths of a second. But I do think there is a lot more time in Matt's lap, so I think it'll be very close to him. Like Casper Coutinho also as well. Like he jumped in as last minute reserve, and that's a good lap from him as well. He'll definitely improve. And then you have the likes of Scuba. He's 12 on a set of mediums, so he definitely going to improve as well. So I think Graham, to be fair, I think it's going to be I think there might be one or two pull away at the front, like in terms of, but I think the rest of the grid will be pretty close.
Seems like it. I know there's a bit of a gap between Coutinho and Beast at the moment, but I think I'll close up as qualifying goes on and be able to see kind of who's a bit closer to what. But could be in some ways that qualifying might not be entirely representative of someone's pace because, again, walls are for comfort here. It's might be easy to invalidate your lap, as I just watching Jono just skip across the chicane there on his in lap. You can easily just go over track limit, and especially coming down to this section of the track here, where I affectionately call the roundabout section, because you want to try and take some of these curves if possible. Easy to run off a few of them as well in the validate, so you might not even see the best of some people in qualifying here, especially if you got the likes of Scuba and a few guys on mediums heading on to softs. The delta's quite big, isn't it, between those two compounds of tyre? I'm kind of surprised they went out on those, even just to begin. Well, half surprised, because I know Scuba's thinking, and it's my thought as well, you go out in a set of mediums, but you try and save a set of the soft compound tyres for the race in case there's a late safety car, that kind of thing. But you do limit yourself to kind of 2 runs instead of a number of people. Like Beast is back out on track with 10 minutes to go for his second run, so he's going to be doing 3, maybe even 4 if he chose softer on the old tyre selection heading in. So when you limit your number of runs, you obviously put a bit more pressure on yourself to nail it, and sometimes you don't always nail it. That is
very true. I couldn't have said it better myself, Graham, but yeah, like Beastas, I think he probably is going to go, he probably has the softer compound on, because like, as you said, very early, 10 minutes left of the session to go out another set of soft tyres. He's definitely, to be fair, it's good because it'll help him build his confidence towards his final run, but as we were saying before, like, it is very easy to invalidate, it's very easy to just mess up a lap here as the walls are so close. But looking forward to this qualifying session. I'm really hoping that it's a dry race, because it's going to be very close between everybody, because like, I don't know if people are, because I think there will be a safety car or 2, so you might see some people do a 2-stop, you might see some people do a 1-stop. It's just going to shake up the whole grid, so hopefully it is a dry race. But Beastas is probably going to be the first one to start a second lap. No, it actually is Adamako's just ahead of him up the road, so it'll be Adamako to start the first of the second runs. So let's see if they make much of improvement on their first lap times.
Quite a lot of people out with this time as well. It's a longer track, to be fair, like a minute and a half and maybe closer to 2 minutes for an in-lap, so leave yourself plenty of time. Interested to see the different runs people take. Adam's a 10th up on his time. He's actually running decent. Like, it's a nice little gaggle, isn't there, between Beast and Adam there in the 33.7s, and then you've got the Matter and Paco not too far out of that as well. So it's quite tight up there as it is at the moment. So encouraging for Adam, he's finding some time already on this flying lap, opening DRS just about now, and very tight. I'll be interested to see what gear he uses, first or second. Heavy braking, first gear, shore up a second, shore up a third. I like using ERS out here, it gets very close to the wall. I like using a bit of ERS on the exit here. You can actually make an overtake heading up towards this corner here if you get a good run. It's very satisfying as well, as he's almost 3/10 up in his time. And purple, if this game is to be the lead. But here's the make or break one, as you know. Well, actually, sector 1 I think is the make or break sector, to be fair. But I dislike these last 2 corners.
Yeah, they're pretty tricky. Like, especially even for us boys on a wheel, like that would be a wheel section. But it's for us, we struggle. But Adam does come across the line, 33.3 split. He did improve quite a lot on that lap, and Beastas pumps to the top of the timing screens. Jesus, 8/10 of an improvement as well by Beastas. That just shows he had time in that lap as well. Coutinho, he's also coming through the 3rd sector, and he's currently 2.5 up on his time as well. So he might actually challenge Beastas for. Oh, he's at the wall a wee bit. He's pushing.
I'm amazed that wasn't involved, and there it is.
There it is. That car looked very twitchy in the back end through that last section of the track, which, but unfortunately Kevin as well, he's getting a bit of a slipstream from a car ahead. I'm not sure who that is. It's just coming down to the end of the second sector. It is Jetty, so I think Jetty will get out of the way. I'm trying to see if there's anybody actually further on up the road. Gamer Paco, he's currently 0.5 up on his time through the first sector. Lyronix is only starting. Wesker's 3/10 up. So I think
6th.
Mirko 6 is decent lap for Mirko at 33.4. But I think it is actually going to be Kevin's going to be the next one to cross the line. He's currently 200 up on his lap time at the minute. He is on a wheel, so this should be the section of the track where he is the strongest. You can see he's understeering through the the pretty high speed corners, it's a bit of a nightmare. I think that the high speed corners, I think, benefits the pad more. Oh, he's hit the wall. Ooh. But to be fair, he still does a 33.2 despite clipping the wall. So it's still not too bad of a lap. I think it maybe would have cost him a 10th or so. So I think he could probably have challenged Matt for P3 there if he hadn't messed that up.
Between those last two corners, I think there was about a 10th or so to be had. Yeah, you kind of just slightly missed the apex a little bit, that second to last corner. Speaking of Matt, he's flying through Sector 3, a few cars up ahead of him. One of them is carrying on. Is that Wesker? It is Wesker. His first proper attempt. Here he comes. This could be good. Oh, 33.5. Slower than I thought for Wesker, as Matt can't find an improvement on his second run.
Yeah, and Scuba as well. He also went at 33.3. He's like, as I said before, there's maybe the top three have a bit of a, like from Kikino the whole way down till you can enough even say Wesker, it's about 3.5-4 tenths of a second, which to be fair around this track you can easily kind of find it because it's that long of a track.
And Bisas quickly, he went 8 tenths quicker, but he's only 6 thousandths quicker than Kalsper at the moment, and I believe Kalsper is on a flying lap himself.
See, he just have a second up on his lap as well, so Kalsper at the minute it's looking like a man that means business despite having taken a bit of a break from F1. He's just come back and has still got had before he left.
Looking well. Trying to see who's on the next on a flying lap. Kieran Trapp is invalidated. Is Captain Chubb same kind of story, but he's on in lap. Jetty, same thing. I think that leaves Scuba then as our. No, he's on in lap as well. We're all on in laps. There's someone on a lap. I know there's someone. With Kalsper then.
I think it is. Kalsper's only one on a flying lap. He has went purple through the middle sector. He's 200th of a second up on his time. Kieran Trapp's retired from the session, so he doesn't think he's going to improve on his lap time. It was at 34.4. He's down at P15. We'll see how Kalsper gets on through the last couple of corners. The car just looks pretty nailed on, doesn't it?
It does. A bit of a lock up there. I think Kieran Trapp may have lost it coming out of the heading onto that back straight there. Ooh, takes a bit too much on the inside wall there, and
he still improved.
He did just about improve. He did, but definitely lost a lot of time in that last corner entry and obviously exit as well.
Yeah, he did. That would have been maybe 2.5 tenths of a second. He probably lost there as well. So I think Kalsper could maybe, if he nails the lap, maybe do a 32.5, which is a pretty damn good quick lap if he can do that. We'll just see if Matter. I think Matter's coming into the pits as well. Yeah, he is. So everybody's pretty much gearing up to go for a final run, as Kagino was actually out very early for his final run. So that's a bit of a surprise. I thought he would have waited a wee bit longer.
Unless he's worried about perhaps invalidating, maybe just wanted to set the car for another run just in case. Otherwise, maybe just wanted the security of having track position, because as you know, Dan, it can get pretty messy towards the end of a session. Not too bad on this track, to be fair, because it covers a lot of ground, this track, doesn't it? You know, you look at the two straights here, it covers a lot of ground, so people should be able to create decent separation between themselves. But hey, if you feel like you can't afford to take the chance, then by all means, work away. The track is all his.
The track is all his as well, and Beastas, as was said before in the second one, he's actually come out very early as well for his final run. So I'm quite surprised, because like the track's obviously going to evolve and get quicker. So I'm surprised like the boys have went out so early, but you never know. As you were saying, they're probably afraid to invalidate, so they just want to have another lap on board. But we'll soon find out. It is good to have, but it'll make you initially slower in the first lap though, because you'll have just too much fluid on board. But Kagino's going very slow just to warm up his tyres as he gears up for pretty much his final run.
I'll tell you what, Kalsper's going to be pressing for time here. He's just got back into the pits now. He should have enough time to get back out, but he probably one of the last ones to actually exit. So any improvement for him would likely become after everyone else.
Yeah, so we'll just find out as we're just watching Kagino start his final run. I'm sitting here actually trying to put the link onto Twitter here, so that's what's taking me so long.
Qualified's nearly over, Dan.
I know it is nearly over, Graham, but it's not good, man. You know, but I think I got up there now. Yeah, I got up there now, so that's fantastic. So hopefully we get a few more people. I think there's like 5 or 6 already tuned in, so hopefully we get a few more.
Whoops. Kagino on a 10th or so up on his current time.
He's indeed. To be fair, I watched that first sector and it actually looked pretty nailed on, to be fair.
Very, very clean first sector. Keeps that rate up. He's got a very good chance to take provisional pole. It's going to be tight up there. It's very, very tight.
Yeah, it is very tight. But the thing is, though, Graham, what do you prioritise around here? Do you go for a low downforce setup to get a good straight line speed as the straights are that long, or do you go for cornering speed basically because you know it's a pretty tight, twisty track?
I always prefer downforce, and Genie Mac. This is some improvement. If that's to be believed, need 4/10. I always prefer downforce myself, especially this year. The straight line speed matters a little bit less, and there's a lot of twisting walls around here that are threatening to get in your face, especially with degrading tyres as well. I just would err on the side of safety and just survive and not chance getting it into a wall. But let's see then what you can do. Very clean. It's very clean.
There you go.
32.7.
There you go. That is, Jesus Christ, this is shaping up to be a very close qualifying, and I absolutely love it. But Beastas, as we were saying, he's on his run. He is a tenth and a half down on his lap, and he's got quite a lot of traffic in front of him. Oh, it's going to be...
The guy out the way fairly well down the back straight there. He might have more troubles here. Chubb's getting out the way. He's got another... The next two cars he should catch. Maybe that McLaren might get away, but that Red Bull, not sure who it is, Kevin. Ooh, difficult place to get. He's getting all that turbulent, dirty air as well. So he's not blocking him, but he definitely would have been affected by it.
But Kevin, to be fair, he could get out of the way at the only point he actually could, so I don't think he was holding him up. But I think Beastas might have enough time to go for one more run. Now he backs out of it. That's him done.
So, well, yeah, I wonder if he had more left in the tank, but he's going to be starting P3 at best.
And Graham, there's still quite a few guys that still haven't crossed the line yet with 14 seconds to go. Well, so as I said,
aren't they? I think Paco's the last one then.
Yeah, he just crossed the line there now, but he's very close to Wesker, and Wesker's also very close to Kelsper in front, so these boys might feel a turbulent air from the car in front, but we'll soon find out. I'm actually trying to get on board to see who's the next car to cross the bloody line, because...
Matter, I believe, is the next one, since Coutinho, I think, is on an in-lap, isn't he?
Yeah, and Matter, to be fair, he is the 10th and a half up to the second sector, so it's looking a good bit of an improvement. If he can hopefully nail this last section, he might be able to gain a few more tenths, maybe challenge Wesker for P9, but it'll need to be a miracle of a final sector. But we'll see how he gets on. He takes it pretty well. Yellow flag in the first sector. Matter comes across the line. He does a 33.5 and actually does beat Wesker, so he actually did get a lot of an improvement in that last sector.
Bit of tow going on there. I think Kevin got out the way for Chubbs. Not sure if Kevin validated his lap.
Adam Mako with a 33.1. That's a good lap from Adam Mako. Very good lap. Matt's also coming around the last couple of corners now as well. See if he can challenge Coutinho for the top step, or not for the top step, for the front row of the grid. But we'll see how he gets on. It's a much better lap.
Nice.
Matty crossed the line. Oh, it's close. It's at 32.8. Oh, that's getting feisty now. Scuba as well, he also went up in the P5 with 33 flat, so he's maybe he's just 2 tenths down behind Beastas, but he's still thereabouts. Kevin has backed out of his lap. Wester's coming around the last corner. He does a 33.1, so he's also there as well. And I think Gamer Paco as well, he backed out of his lap, so that's pretty much everybody done. Everybody done. And to be fair, it was a very, very close qualifying session. Everybody improved massively in their last lap.
Look at the gap between Merck got second place there. Merck down to I think it's like Beast in 5th or 6th. It's about just about 10th of a bit. It's close. It's very, very close.
And that's what we want to see. Let's hopefully it's like this in the race as well. But yeah, Coutinho does take the front row of the grid along with Merck. And then Kelsper and Matt are both 3rd and 4th, Beastas 5th, Scuba 6th, who these three are actually title challengers, so Matt's actually got ahead of the two of them, so Matt's got the advantage going into the race start. You've Adamak on 7th, Wesker on 8th, Kevin 9th, Matt 10th, Jetty 11th, Gamer Pack with 12th, and then you've Jono and Lyronix 13th to 14th, Chubbs and Kieran Trapp 15th to 16th, Alonso and Bomber both 17th and 18th. But I notice this with Alonso all the time. He likes to start at the back and do an alternate strategy, and it always seems to work out for him, so I wouldn't be surprised if Alonso finds himself at the end of the race 6th or 7th.
Yeah, everyone said the top 10's got a choice in that regard, and I suspect it will. We'll see a number of people select the mediums.
Yeah, I was actually thinking now, would you actually go mediums or would you try and go for the hards? The hards might be too slow at this.
Yeah, I think they're too slow at the start. I wouldn't. If I'm at the back, perhaps would dry race, so no worries about the We could have had that conversation and it could have been raining for all we knew.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think they're too slow to start. Yeah, I wouldn't go near, especially because you always risk a certain point when the safety car comes out that everyone else could be putting on hards, and you're sat already on hards, and you have to make another stop, and then pending another safety car, you're a pit stop down for the rest of the way. So it's a risk, but it is just luck at the end of the day. But between when a safety car potentially comes out, I wouldn't do it personally.
I don't know, if it was me, like, I would probably do it just to chance it anyway, but you don't know. As you're saying, it is really, really slow. It probably is really slow at the start, but I do agree with you saying I do expect most of the people outside the top 10 to go for set of mediums, and from looking at it, it looks like most of them pretty much have. Sorry, actually, Lyronix has actually took the advice and went for the hards. So
in the 14th as well.
So that's going to be an interesting one now. Lyronix, he's going to be one to watch out for. I think also as well the Scuba, and I think Scuba might be one to watch out for, because just remember him last week, he was like 4th on the grid or 5th on the grid and was first into turn 1. After that,
that's a quality music there, Dan.
Oh, I know, it's the girlfriend's music. So it is. So we'll have that on the background for a wee bit.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah, I think everything you said is bang on there. What a banger. Very accurate that no one outside the top 10 has done softs. I think that's the right decision to make. I am surprised by that decision by Lyronix, to be fair. Oh, Wesker got himself disqualified like a no. Oh, and Kevin as well. Oh. He sat on that grid for a while.
Them two have obviously just made contact with each other, so what's...
That'll go down well.
No, it will indeed, but so they're probably in a party with each other, so it was probably planned knowing them two.
Just as well they're on softs and not mediums or hards, because they won't be using too much temps out of those. Especially in Lyronix, he's going to have work to do. Now, the third sector will do the work for him in some regards as well, getting that tire heat in, but he's going to be vulnerable at the start with those guys on mediums. Not the longest run down to turn 1, but I'm also thinking kind of coming on to Chubbs.
I've seen that.
More so launching out of, I think, turns kind of 6, 7, 8, the roundabout section basically, turns more so 8 and 9, heading onto that long back straight. Just need the car to be as hooked up as possible, and those hards might make that a little tougher out the gate compared to those mediums. Yeah,
I pretty much do agree with you there, but Graham, we are pretty much about to start this. First off, I'll let you take the start, because I've taken the last couple of starts and it's very sore in my throat. But also a wee quick podium prediction. Who are you going for?
Kalsper, Coutinho, and I'll say Matt.
I'm going to go Kalsper, Matt and Scuba.
Yeah, solid choice there.
So we'll wait for the lights, and then Graham can take the start away.
Alrighty, short run down to turn 1, but plenty enough time to make moves. Let's see if Burke has a look into Coutinho into turn 1. There we go then. 5 red lights, and away we go. Looks like a good start for Coutinho. Looks like he'd be safe heading into turn 1. Merck files in behind Kalsper and Matt. Oh, Kalsper leaving his car in there. A lot of ghosting going on. Not sure if that's just me, but Kalsper trying to hang around the outside. It should work for him, but he's going to be cut off. Merck seizes that position, takes it back. And Beastas moves ahead of Matt, and there's Scuba Ryan behind Matt as well. So, side by side, Matt and Scuba, what dreams are made of. As Kalsper looks to try to have a go again on Merck. Will he get the move done? No, files in. And Matt keeps that position ahead of Scuba.
To be fair, Graham, I actually was watching that start. It actually looked like a pretty clean start from every single driver on the grid, and that's what you want to see.
Very much so. And Kevin trying to make up some spots here as well. We're trying to take back some. He's behind Jetty as they head down this long back straight where do you decide ERS to spend it or to try and keep it?
Yeah, I'm also watching Kieran Trapp and Gamer Paco here. They've been side by side through the whole roundabout section, and they're side by side through the coming down the big straight now. I think Gamer Paco was. Oh, there's a massive contact! Who was that?
I think it was Matter, and Chubbs was there as well. Just they look like they slammed into the back of Jono, just completely missed the braking point, and a safety car has been deployed.
Jesus, I actually feel so bad for Kieran Trapp, and Chubbs is already retired. He's just given up. I feel so bad for Kieran Trapp because he always get caught up in first lap incidents. Always.
Wing damage on the right. Did Jono get away with that scot-free, or has he got?
He didn't. He
right
is damaged as well. Yeah, he is damaged as well. There's Scuba's also in the pits, so he's bolted. Kagino's bolted, and Adamako's also bolted as well.
Quite a few people pivoting here, and going on to the hards as well. That's Jesse moving up here. So everyone who's starting on mediums. This is interesting. Interesting. We got a split decision here on the strategy. Some people are staying out. Other people are coming in.
I know, and there's a few medium runners to be fair that have actually come in as well. So this is, I think most of the medium runners were ones that broke their front wing. So I've just absolutely no idea. Like that was about 7 cars just absolutely drove straight into the back of each other. I feel so bad for every single one of them. There was obviously one driver made the mistake, and everybody else just paid the price for it. But to be fair, the safety car is out, so they're technically, you could say they have lost, but at the same time they haven't because the safety car.
It's hard to say what the situation is because lap times are this glitch that says it's lap 3, but of course it is lap 2. Positions are absolutely all over the gaff. But fascinated now that we've got a very split road here as well. It's going to be very interesting. A lot of people came in to put on mediums as well. They're stopped. Quite a number of people put on mediums at that too.
They did indeed. Scuba went for the hards, and Jono also went for the hards. So that's going to be interesting. I think Scuba's going to get absolutely swamped at this restart. I mean swamped.
And he could let that happen, to be fair, because those guys have to pit anyways. But ideally, it's not a situation where they're on old mediums. Like they're going to be out on those mediums for a while. If he's getting stuck behind someone would be pretty disastrous, and losing all that time, because those guys on softs, they're going to naturally pull away for a little bit before those softs wear off, compared to especially if you're on mediums or hards. And the tires will be fresh enough anyways that might not matter as much, and you're just dealing with the regular delta compared to say the kind of degradation of wear kind of time aspect as well. So a lot of moving parts here ahead of this restart. It's going to be very interesting.
It is going to be very interesting, and to be fair, all this contact that's happened has actually benefited Jetty because he's went from P11 to P6, and he's the highest medium runner. As he started on Kevin's up. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I'm not sure.
He's dead in the pit lane as well.
Yeah, I think Kevin's pretty much going to retire because I think that's what he's going to do. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't, because it's what Kevin does. If he gets a bit of damage, he just gives up basically.
No wing change.
So is he just building for a set of hearts, is he?
Set mediums.
It's really, really strange. I don't know why he did that, but hey,
where were they on the track? They had time, didn't they? They had all the time to react, because the pit lane here is quite early compared to well, it cuts out the last 2 corners, of course.
Yeah.
But I think he had the opportunity to pit himself, so I'm surprised. Ooh, wow, very tight there in the exit between himself and Alonso. I'm not sure who won that in the end. I think he settled in behind Alonso, so he has. He had the time, didn't he, then, to come in, and he wouldn't have lost as many positions as he has as a result of it.
Yeah, he actually did, because it was down the big long back straight. At the hairpin, as soon as literally them boys made contact, the safety car came out, so all drivers had plenty of time to react.
He was just ahead, wasn't he? He was about 10th or so. He was on the back of Jetty, or close to Jetty. He was just in front of that little group. It was like 12th or so, wasn't it, between where Jono was when it happened.
And we have a few drivers. The top 5 all decided. Well, sorry, the top 6 all decided not to pit. So I don't know how this is going to go for the likes of Merck, Calsper, Beast, and Matt, and Wesker, who are all on the softs. The softs, I'm going to assume, is not going to last that much longer once we get past the restart. So it's going to be tough for these guys to pull out a bit of a gap, because if they pit, they're going to come pretty much last. So I think they may miss the boat by not pitting.
Possibly. Puts Jetty in a very good position, because he's the safety cars in this lap. Because he's basically on the same strategy as everyone who just pitted onto mediums, only his tires are a few laps older. But all those medium runners will have to pit again. I am fascinated to see how this works out with the hards, because I believe Scuba himself actually tried this himself once as well, and he did end up getting a little bit eaten towards the end of the race on guys on soft, so it'll be interesting to see how that comes around come the end of this race, if indeed he is going to the end.
Yeah, and He definitely tried anyway, because I know he's got pretty good hardware despite being on a pod, so I'm quite surprised at it. But Merck, it's going to be interesting to see when he goes. Like, he's back in the pack up very early. I think he could pretty much go now because the safety car is in the pits.
Basically.
So,
taking that moment. Oh, there he goes. Oh, back in, wanted to get away from him there.
oh, and Adam's also.
Oh, there was a collision between Adam and Scuba. Any wing damage to be had?
I don't.
They both got 5-second penalties.
Yeah, they have indeed, which is a bit unfortunate. It was just
okay.
Yeah, I think the wings do look okay, but that's probably. I don't think Scuba will serve his in the pits, because I think he will try and go to the end anyway. But Adam will definitely serve his in the pits. But yeah, pretty much got underway, and I don't think there's been no contact this time around. So let's hope we haven't jinxed it, because I said it was a fantastic start, and it was jinxed. And Coutinho just passed it, Jetty straight away. Oh, Jetty's in the wall! Oh. Jesus Christ!
He's just struggling with understeer. Like, he just understeered all the way out of into turn 2, and that just allowed Coutinho to go. And he's now into a wall as well, as Matter and Jono side by side.
Oh, Matter and Jono missed up.
And Matter is through, and I dare say Casper's looking to have a go here on Merck. Not using his ERS. Merck is, though, trying to defend, and now, oh, perfect timing for Casper, as Merck turned it off. Casper turned his on, and the straight line speed just sending him through, and that is Casper who's into this race.
The leader race was a good move from Cal. Scuba also did make the move on Jetty, and as you see, Adam Mako's trying to go for the move as well on Jetty. So Jetty's been a bit of a thorn on people's sides here, but he has wing damage and he's holding a lot of guys up. But Lyronix is also going to make the move as well. Yep. So Jetty, I think, will pit this lap. He was swamped by 3 guys in the one corner, so that's going to be him making a pit stop. Literally, I would say this lap, because he's not going to be able to stay out, especially on this sort of track with that wing damage. But as well, just watching Whisker's. He's not looking too bad. He's actually close enough behind Matt as well. But this is going to be a big massive train between these guys, and I think these guys hold each other up. You're going to see the likes of Scuba and Adam both catching as well.
Wesker's that first. He's the first one of that. He's the first one that everyone else is going to be targeting on those softs. So it'll be interesting to see how the front four if they can maybe bridge something, or if, as the degradation goes, if Wesker just end up taking all those medium runners with them. No DRS in this lap anyway, so one more lap to try and extend the gap, and they're going to need to, because those slots are going to go off pretty soon. Yeah, and I'm just watching Beastas. Beastas is just moving out behind that racing point, just letting Merck know that he's there, and if he's close enough he'll go for the move. But I was watching Wesker as well, just coming out of the first sector. His back end looked very squirmish through that like snail part, as you would call it, or the S part, I don't even know what you would call it, but the back end was a bit squirmy through there. And I'm just watching Kevin and Kieran Trapp. Kevin made the move literally just round the roundabout section. He just pretty much just drove right round the outside on the medium tyres, and Kieran Trapp couldn't do anything about it. I don't think Kieran's actually going to come back at him. Sorry, there's a Beast is through there on Merck, who did tap the back of that AlphaTauri slightly into that hairpin, but didn't see any wing flying. That's Beast. It's a very simple move for Beast into P2. Yeah, I seen that there. I was just watching Matter and Gamer Packwood. I thought Matter was going to be close enough to make the move, but he just didn't decide to risk it down the inside. And as soon as Kevin passed Kieran Trapp, he hasn't really left him too much, so Kieran Trapp's still hanging on them hard tires. But I know a lot of these guys don't like this track, so I can't. To be honest with you, I'm going to be very surprised if we see more than 13 finishers. I'd be surprised. Yeah, seems to happen. DRS is enabled. Fast lap for Beast as well. Beast, the top 3 have got themselves a little margin between themselves and DRS, and Matt who's in the back of on the back of Merck though. I'm just confused. I was just thinking. Lyronix pitted from hards into mediums.
Yes, he did.
I'm pretty certain he's only going to have one set of fresh hards. He's going to have to make another stop as Paco and Matter renewing their rivalry. Matter taking that position back here off flag sector 2. That is just Jetty, I believe. So I'm kind of confused why Lyronix didn't just take track position. Hope he could hang on, put on a fresh set of mediums later, because he's going to put back on used hards. So I don't know. I'm just a little bit trying to think that one through.
Is he going to put on used hards, or is he going to go for an all set of mediums?
He could, to be fair. You know what? You're right.
Yeah, I think he'll use the other set of mediums, but I think them guys, I think most of them will go for a set of mediums, but if it was me, I would try and maybe stretch it as far as possible and go for softs, because you're going to be ridiculously quick at the end. But I don't know, but I'm just watching here Scuba and Adam. Scuba's getting a bit swamped on them hard tires. Adam's going down the inside from the DRS and makes the move, and Scuba couldn't really make but much of a cutback on them hard tires, and Adam is up into P7, so it's a good move from Adam and pretty clean as well.
I was just looking at the ERS difference between the two. Obviously, Scuba's used a lot more than Adam. I don't think he would have wanted him to go through. But you've seen the difference between the mediums and the hards, and exactly to what you're saying. I think this race is dissipated kind of into a anyone who started on the medium tires has basically just chosen to just run 2 medium sets the rest of the race, basically for their second stop. If you start on softs, medium, I think is kind of what you're going to see.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam makes slight contact with the wall there. I think it looked okay. Didn't see any pieces flying off. So I think you're going to see medium basically.
Scuba will be the only one. But them guys in the softs, I think these guys in the softs, you know, Graham, at the minute, I think they might actually try and stretch as far as possible and string a set of mediums in.
Safety car will help with that. But you've got Coutinho already in the DRS here of Wesker, and he's going to be the one to watch move, because he's got a good gap between himself and Adam, who's the highest runner of the mediums, as Kevin and John. Kevin getting through.
Oh, but Jono's going to try and make a bit of a switch back down the inside. It'd be a good move if he can do it. Kevin's trying to hang it on, but I think he's going to get the inside, and he just gets so much better traction on them medium tires, and Jono couldn't do anything. But Jono does have the DRS, I do believe, and ahead Matt has also made the move on Merck, and Lyronix has also made the move on Scuba as well.
Yeah, so chop and change. Merck trying to come back at Matt though. This is what I was talking about earlier. On the outside though, Matt should be able to hold that, position his car. Yeah, textbook stuff from Matt. I would have thought maybe Merck should have used a bit more of his ERS there, pull himself far enough in front. But very simple move for Matt to hold on. The position of his car is always going to dictate that Merck couldn't really fight back there. And so that's Matt up into P3. He's got his task now set out for him to try and pull away enough that Merck can't just immediately respond with all of that ERS down the big long DRS straight, because now Matt's over 2 seconds behind B-Stats there.
Yeah, and it's also saying that the pit window now for the mediums is open for Merck. It's saying he actually can go for the mediums to the end here, so that's quite a surprise. Didn't think they would do 20 laps, but I think these boys will. I think they will try and stretch to maybe lap 11 if they can. Because I think me might. I'm not 100% sure, but to be fair, I was actually just keeping the eye on the gap between B-Stats and Kelsper. B-Stats hasn't really lost too much time despite having to overtake Merck and Matt. Like, he's pretty much kept the same sort of distance to Kelsper, so Kelsper's not technically running away with this just yet, because B-Stats has the pace to keep up with him.
And it's close enough to be where he's uncomfortable as well, as Kevin's making his way through the field. Same place again as he did the last move on Paco. On John, rather, on Paco this time. Just trying to see now Merck. DRS is open. Could be a late one. Matt using everything he's got left in terms of ERS. I think it's going to be enough. And nothing doing this time around as Lyronix zooms past Adam into P7.
He doesn't
becoming a factor in this race now.
He does indeed, but Adam's going to try and hang it on, but Lyronix had the inside line and just pretty much ran Adam clean out of the road, which he was entitled to. Adam, it's going to be very hard to hang it around the outside of there, but it has allowed Scuba to just stick within this battle. I think Scuba will rue making the decision for the hards at this stage of the race, because he doesn't look like he has the pace. You would expect him to be a lot higher up and a lot more competitive, despite him not liking this track, because he doesn't like a lot of tracks in this game, but he's still pretty much up there with most of the guys at the front.
I think it's just the hards just not switching on as of yet. Oh, very poor run for Wesker coming out of the last corner, and Coutinho is going to be through. Very simple move in the end. Handed to him on a play. Wesker got that all wrong. Wing looks okay, but just thoroughly cooked up his lines.
Yeah, I think that was just straight into the wall. But as I said, the front wing is still intact, so he did get away with it, because it looked like it was a big clout against Monacis. I thought it was actually.
You're lagging quite a bit there.
Oh, I think I'm okay now, am I?
Oh, you're good now.
Yeah, I don't know what happens. Sometimes it lags, but I was saying that Coutinho, I thought he picked up wing damage, but it must have just been my lag. It just made me think that he did, but it turns out he didn't. He was 100%. But we're saying Merck is actually pretty close behind Matt. Matt has only 16% DRS, so he's not really going to be able to defend this. Merck's going to go down the inside, going to be a pretty easy move. Matt is not really going to hang on. He's not going to try and hold it around the outside. He's going to try and do a bit of a switchback, but Merck, as a veteran that he is in league racing, was not going to let that happen and has moved himself up into P3. So it's a nice wee battle between these two.
Yeah, and that helps Coutinho come into the fold slightly here somewhat as they as they contested that, and he's just on the periphery there of some DRS, and that would be big. Again, he's quite close, is Coutinho, to this action on these medium tyres, and if we're getting closer as Merck picks up a penalty and dives into the pits in the process. Not too many track limits penalties for corner cutting and such. That's a big one for Merck.
That is a big one, and I think he actually got that for actually going into the pits, because I think he might have just, I don't know what it was, maybe it was just he didn't take the white line properly, and I just gave him a penalty for it, because it actually looked like he was just taking the line normal, but it just came out of nowhere. So I don't know what the reason was for behind that, but it's a bit unfortunate for Merck. It's going to cost him quite a bit of time, but he is going to go for mediums, so it looks like the rest of the top three that are on softs and Wesker are all going to go for mediums once they pit as well.
18 laps, 19 laps clearing the one we're on a set of mediums. What do we think?
They're going to be pretty bothered, I would say, but
I would imagine so, right?
They might just make it.
They'll make it, but they're going to be slow.
Yeah, like Scuba at the end is going to be quick on them hards, because they're going to be still pretty good, but the gap's that big to the guys in front that he's going to have a lot of work to do.
Here comes Coutinho reeling in. Matt Tybus, DRS move.
He's made contact! Coutinho moved over!
Yeah, the front of Matt's car made contact with the rear. He may have had him clear, I'm not sure. I think, have they got away with that? I think so.
No, Matt hasn't got away from Matt's picked up damage.
Has he got damage? Oh, the right hand side, yeah.
Yeah. That was unfortunate. I think that was a misjudgment for Coutinho. I don't think he actually realised that Matt was actually still there.
Possibly, as Casper comes into the pits and Beastas follows him.
So Matt's going to be in there as well.
Again, to be fair, I would need to see it again before I make a proper judgment on it, but that's unfortunate.
It is, because he's now going to drop behind Wesker, because he's going to have this wing change. Jetty's retired. This might actually bring out a safety car, you know.
He's fantastic timing for some.
He's in the pits, so it's pretty much out the window there now. So we'll see. Matt is going to make a wing change, is he? Because it's just time. Yeah, he is going to make a wing change. So that's unfortunate for Matt. But to be fair, he has showed that he has got a bit of pace, so he might still be able to get back into this. As I believe that was, I think Merck was overtaking Kieran Trapp. He was, and Alonso's just right behind that as well. Beastas right beside John. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's side by side. Sorry to interrupt you there, Graham, but is he going to get it? Oh, he's had to cut the corner a bit because he didn't realise John was there, but he has made the move. But that was pretty close between the two of them.
I was going to say that pit lane just feeds directly into that corner. You have to really watch where you're going. And John was fight back there. Just looking at that on the stream. I was on board with Matt when that happened. You were on board, I think, with Coutinho and the end broadcast there. Looked like he came over. I think he thought he had cleared him, perhaps, or he thought maybe Matt would get on the brakes a little earlier. I would need to see Matt's angle again, but yeah, an unfortunate one for sure. Coutinho was weaving afterwards, but Matt definitely came off second best there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was any maliciousness in it. I just think he just genuinely just didn't think that Matt was there, so it's a bit unfortunate, and it's a shame that Matt is the one that had to pick up damage.
Yeah, he was running well there for effectively top 5 at the very least. Anyways, we're not sure how it's going to shake down with the guys who came in versus the guys who didn't. But it means now Coutinho is leading this race. Lyonek's not too far behind him yet. So Adam is not far behind. He's got a penalty to serve in the pits, but he's not far behind that either, as Wesker and Kieran Trapp changing places there, as Kieran Trapp was.
And Merck is literally stuck up Jono's rear end as Jono lets him go. But Graham, one thing I need to actually point out, Beastas went for a set of hard tyres. Everybody else went for the mediums.
So playing it very safe there is Beastas. Shows you his confidence level in getting mediums to the end, or maybe he just forgot to change the strategy. It could be as simple as that.
It could be.
Comes zooming by Kevin there.
I think Merck is gonna. I think he's gonna slowly reel that gap into Beast. It's 2.6 seconds at the minute. I think he will close it, because
there's so much of this race left. Yeah,
there is indeed. Like, Jesus Christ, we're only on lap 12 and we've been talking like we're on lap 20. Swear to God.
I know there's a safety car now, but
yeah. Look, it is, to be fair, it is some of the time it's getting a wee bit spread out, but to be fair, it's not spread out like where somebody's like 5 seconds up the road. It's like just over a second or maybe 2 seconds, so the guys are still pretty close. Like, one mistake and someone's going to lose a couple of positions, so They just need to make sure they keep it clean. And Lyronix is actually closing in on Coutinho for so far the net lead. So Lyronix is looking pretty quick at this stage of the Grand Prix.
The thing is, like, nearly half of these cars are on different strategies to each other. Like, there's a lot of cars here on line-up old tyres versus, you know, guys who've just pitted, and Adam is into the pits. Gamer Paco put on a set of hards as well. He's coming out quite far behind though.
Kieran Trapp also went from the hards to a set of mediums because he just must have realised that they were absolutely crap. I'm surprised Scuba hasn't done that, to be fair, but Scuba is in P3 and he has Matter behind him as someone who's coming out of the pits in Sector 3. I don't know who that was. There was the yellow flag there in Sector 3 at some point. I don't know who it was, but must just have been the game. Matt sets the fastest lap of the race, but no, Scuba's got Matter behind him who hasn't pitted. So if Matter can hold Kelsper up, it might help Scuba.
Kevin's off. He was going very slowly. Let's Wesker go.
Kevin's got front wing damage, so I think that's going to be Kevin's night pretty much done and dusted. I'm still surprised he's lasted this long, to be fair. It's Lee Roberts. Oh, Jesus, he's in front of Scuba. Oh my god, look at that.
Wow. VSC is out. He's
my god.
Coming out of, wow. The tyres just gave up on him then, it seems.
Jesus.
Wow.
That car's a full, what, 90 degrees?
It's facing all sorts of ways, isn't it? Wow. Can't say I expected that.
I know, because he was looking so good. He was actually catching Coutinho. I was going to say it depends how long this VSE stays out, because Scuba might actually pit and might not lose as much positions, but I think it'll be gone. But it'll be gone by the time he gets to the pits. It's gone. There you go. And Kelsper, to be fair, is right up Scuba's rear end now.
Coutinho was really struggling for grip there on the restart, and he comes into the pits now. Lap 13. Did those two come together, possibly?
I have absolutely no idea. They must have come together. That's a surprise to me.
I'll check the streams to see how close they were together before it happened. 7 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 tenths. They must have come to. They must have made contact. 1 tenth. Can't see what part of the track though. Yeah, they were right there.
That's just mind-boggling me. I'm surprised there's no safety car, to be fair, but I suppose he did retire in the pits. So, but Kelsper is closing in as Kevin's retired as well. So, that's out of the last corner, I think, as well.
He was yeah, I believe so. He was a tenth behind or so. Was Lyronix when that happened? So, I'm not sure why Coutinho retired at the same time. But Kelsper here is going to have the simplest move of his night, I imagine.
Yeah, he is indeed. He's pretty much going to be plain sailing. To be fair though, I'll say this, from all this happening, this might actually help Scuba maybe still sneak a podium, because I don't know if Beastas will actually close in on Scuba, because I think still Scuba, despite being on 11 lap old hards, might still have the pace.
But to help Scuba, because obviously that's two drivers who are basically in front of him in his race, in Coutinho and Lyronix there, are now out, so definitely sneaks himself a little bit closer to the top contention. Helps Matter too, obviously, gain some of those positions back, and he's all over the back of Wesker.
Yeah, Matt's going to pretty much make that move. I think Matt, to be fair, towards the end of this Grand Prix, I think he will gain a good few positions, because he's looked quick all night. It's just a shame what happened. Yeah, it's just a shame what happened that with that incident between him and Coutinho.
Jono's in after 11 laps on those hards. I imagine just to maximise the set of mediums to the end.
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say that's pretty sensible move from Jono, as Wesker is getting very, very close to that wall in the last corner. Matt's going to try and go up inside into turn 1. He's going to think better of it. Graham and I know a lot about that first corner in the wet anyway around here.
Yeah, for context, Dan, I was in front of Dan in a wet race, and my rear got a very large love tap, which sent me round. It was good fun.
That was a bit of a misjudgment on my behalf.
Yeah, it was not fun. Vietnam in the wet is not fun.
I'll never live that down. But to be fair, Kieran Trapp is on the back of Bomber, so Kieran Trapp can still get P11. To be fair, like,
Ooh,
Oh, it's
John
John.
just joined in front of those.
John was just enjoying fun. Like, as I've been saying about Kieran Chop getting like from wing damage throughout most of the season, like he's getting pretty much from wing damage nearly every race he's done, but he's always continued and still pick up like ninths and tenths and everything, and I think it's brought him into like peaks in the championship. So, to be fair, them handful of points are still adding up.
Absolutely. I was watching it from the Kieran Traps on board there, and John just zoomed in about 500 miles an hour out of that pit lane into the as the pit lane feeds you in. It's quite jarring because it's so quick.
I know it scares the crap out of you, but to be fair, Matters on the back of Scuba now as well. So, and Beastas, I was saying actually Beastas isn't going to close that gap. He bloody well has closed that gap by quite a lot as well.
Matter and Scuba are on the same strategy, basically the same kind of. They play at the same time, but you can see the pace difference still. Like those mediums still going strong, but yeah, Beast will just get them on just wear. Like it'll be very easy for him, even though they're both the Scuba's on hards. Just have the you'll have the tires, but he's about just under around 5 seconds up behind Casper in total. So he's managed to extend his gap as Casper in this time.
Yeah, he has, but I can't. Beastas, he's not going to close off 5 seconds of Kelsper, so I think Kelsper's going to be pretty much. Well, it depends if Kelsper can keep them tires to the end. I think he probably will, because he's out in front, so he can just save them as much as he wants. As Lyronix has left the session, but it's going to be interesting now to see what happens between the two AlphaTauris. Is Matter going to let Beastas go, or are they going to fight? That's going to be an interesting one now, because at the minute Beastas is a quicker driver, but Matter doesn't have the DRS, so
there's nothing to fight here. Like he's just going to have him. Regardless if you made the decision or not to actually do it. So Beastas into third place and catching Scuba at part of the track where you wouldn't really want to, getting through this section. Gratitude in weaving there from Beastas for his teammate. I don't think, to be fair, Matter, even if he wanted to, could stop him. Matt Wesker.
Yeah,
feisty.
I just made a wee noise there because Matt did clip the back of Wesker, and it was actually quite a big thump as well, but he didn't get any wing damage from it, so I was quite surprising. But to be fair, I'd say Matt is getting absolutely extremely annoyed with the back of that Alfa Romeo, because he's been stuck behind it for how long now? I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, Alonso obviously on the old mediums, he's carrying on for another lap, so Matter pitches on 13 lap old mediums. Alonso carries on, goes very, very wide. Second to last corner. Again, Matt, you just sense he just gets a much better run out of that last corner, but had to get off the throttle because he was literally going to get into the back of another car, losing a lot of time here. I tell you what, Merck is going to be fine. Like he's got that penalty. He'll pick up another 2 for that matter, and he'll still have a gap over this group.
Yeah, he will indeed, and Beastas is literally pushing Scuba along the roundabout section, the long left-hander. He's pretty much going to get him down the straight. Look, he's just literally right behind him. Yeah, he's going to even make it before he even activates the DRS.
I'd say he lost about 3-4 tenths, so getting up to this point. It's a dangerous old straight, to be fair, because the little kinks in it do make it a little bit more tricky, as Wesker should this time get by Alonso, and Matt will need to do the same himself as well. Can't languish back here.
He can't, and it's going to be interesting now to see the three of them. They are going to go. Oh, is Matt going to try and dive down the inside of Wesker as well? He is not. But this time there is no contact with Matt in that corner, because he had contact with Gugino, so pretty easy. And now Matt is going to have basically a straight chance at Wesker, because Wesker's not going to have DRS.
I think he is quicker, isn't he? Like he's definitely got more pace than that Alfa Romeo in front of him.
Yeah, you can even just see it through the corners. He's just so much more confident. Scuba has his 5 second penalty he still needs to serve, I think.
If he pits, yeah. I was just looking at that. Merck might catch Scuba. Merck's tires might go off himself, but if Scuba can get those hards towards the end, he should have the gap on Matt and Wesker here to keep in front of them. So Scuba could be looking at a 3rd or 4th here. I think would be a good result, considering he's at a clear disadvantage with those tyres.
Yeah, but now it's going to be interesting now to see what Matt does, because he is coming down the first DRS zone. He's not going to be close enough to make the move in this corner, but it's going to be the next DRS zone where he should be close enough. But I've just been looking at Matt through the first sector. He is so, like, he can take so much more of a tighter line than Wesker can, so it's actually making me think Matt's running a lot more front end grip than Wesker is, so it might actually compromise him down the straight, because I think he might be running a bit more downforce.
6/10 back, 7/10 back. No, he's not going to get. He's not going to get near, is he?
No, I don't think he is. Wesker's just getting he's getting fantastic traction on that DRS shit. That's the problem.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, the other lap as well. Like, it's the same kind of story. Like, he was two tenths, like, heading down towards like turn 1, and by the time he gets down to that other straight, like, Wesker is well in front. He's like 8 tenths. He's just not getting the run off of that roundabout to get through. And I thought maybe he was hesitating to get by the first DRS zone because give himself DRS for the second one at least, but it hasn't mattered. Like, he's just not getting the run, and then the straight line speed. He's just not making enough time to, even with the length of that straight, to get back at it. So he might have to change his approach here, or try and find some way to get a better run. If he could get a good run here, to be fair, like, Wesker has struggled. We've seen without that last corner. Just needs to stay on his toes this match, and because an opportunity might come up, but it might come up very quickly. He might have to make a very quick decision to use the ERS and try and take it.
Yeah, and I'm just watching as well in the background, Matter and Alonso. Matter on one lap old medium tyres, but one person to watch out for is actually Alonso, because Alonso's on the softs. He's not going to gain 12 seconds, but it's going to just be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how much Alonso can actually close. But here we go, as Graham says, Matt and Wesker. Matt actually
he's backed off.
He has backed off. I don't think he was confident enough to make the move around the outside.
I think he could have if he wanted to. I think he just wants to have DRS for the second straight, but he needs to get a better run this time. Is the thing.
Oh, it looks like
that's more like it.
That's it. That's perfect. Should be easy pickings now. He's using all his ERS, as you can see. Yeah. It was like 35%. It's now down to 25. But I can tell you now, Wesker in front is pretty much the same ERS as a Matt. Here we go.
Yeah,
and as well,
he was just waiting. He was just waiting to get that done there. Finally got the run he needed to. Deep into the corner slightly, but keeps that's down to P5. And yeah, that was he had the pace. We knew that, but just needed to get the run off of that corner. Finally got it done. But if he wants to, he could have gone for it the first time around. He backed off. He could have used ERS as well the whole way down. Just wanted to select a place where Wesker couldn't really fight back as Merck pits. Right.
That's an 8 lap old mediums as well.
So he's going to go softs then, surely.
So if Merck is struggling on 8 lap old mediums, surely some of the other guys around are not going to get these at the end.
Well, Matter got 13 laps out of his. Alonso was the lap after that, so I think he just wants to maximise his what he can do on the soft compound tyres. But it makes into question then his original decision in the pits. Then we'll see. I guess Scuba will be the measure to judge that, basically. Whether what should have happened at that safety car.
Yeah, but to be fair, Merck's only 4.7 behind. If he can catch and overtake these guys in 8 laps and build a gap, he hasn't really lost anything because he was 4th anyway. But he will have fastest lap as well, so he actually would have gained a point. So it's kind of smart thinking from Merck, but it just depends how quickly he can actually catch the field in front.
It comes Matter on Wesker. Wesker seems to be struggling somewhat. Because Matter, perhaps he might have expected as he goes through to get the move done, but Adam is the one catching up here in 6 lap old hards. Show a good pace, and I imagine I thought maybe Wesker's going to let him go down the inside. Doesn't let him go here though. It's Adam up into 6, so Wesker's struggling on those mediums. He might have to consider coming in as well. I think he's going to have to, isn't he?
Definitely.
Mike.
Ever since then, he struggled. I don't know if you said Mike there or not.
I did, yeah.
Oh, that's alright. I didn't know if I turned it off by accident, but I was just saying Wesker in Hungary did pick up a race win earlier on in the season, but since then he hasn't really strung any good performances together. So I don't. It's been a tough one for Wesker the past couple of races, but I have just been looking at some of the comments on the stream Timo's also back, so it's good to see the Timo's watching. Big shot as Richie, we all watching as well, so it's good to see him back as well. Chubb's commiserating happened, so there's quite a few drivers. There's quite a few people that are still watching as there's a VS.
Yes, he is out. I think Kieran Trapp crashed out of the last corner. Paco literally just paid to change his wing, so that will help him a bit. Well, he's coming very much next, not last, but it'll be a lonely race. He's not even going to get a proper chance to get a fastest lap in, because Merck, as we see here, is on fresh softs as well, and that's a try through for Paco, just to add insult to his injury there. As Merck seasoned by Wesker on those softs, and Adam and Matt are very close as well.
Merck's going to catch Matt very quickly. Tybus, this is Matter. He's going to catch the Matter by the end of the next lap, but Matt Tybus, he'll catch the lap after that, maybe the lap 24.
Yeah, looks like he's only got a few seconds there. Again, Matt, take away 7 seconds, he should be fairly safe up the road, but something came together with Coutinho there. Beastas has brought the gap down a second or so now. That gap was over 5 seconds, now 4. There's quite a bit to go on those mediums. This race might not be over yet.
I was actually just looking at that. Like, he has gained probably since that VSC maybe 1.1 seconds, so around about maybe 2 laps. So maybe Kelsper starting to feel the wear of them tires, and I'm just watching Scuba as well. He's not really losing too much time to Matt behind him either. So Scuba is still at the minute in a comfortable position despite his 5-second penalty, but he still has to get another 7 laps out of them tires, or 6.5 laps. That's going to be 26 laps he's done on them tires, which is going to be a lot of wear on them tires anyway.
As Paco retires in the pits, Merck's Scuba's problem is not going to be Matt, more so when Merck comes by car number 1 for a start, which is Adam, as he's about to do at this moment. He's a bit more energy than I think he would have wanted to, but he's through into 6th, and he's got the 2 Matts in front of him, although Adam wasn't going away there in a hurry, although now opens the steering, and that's Merck through. Well, the thing for Merck, he's got to get through those cars first. Of course, it's one thing talking about it's supposed to make, he's actually got to do it. So 2 cars in front who will not want to give up any ground by any means necessary. So interesting to see. We've got, what lap is that? 23. So 6 laps, including the one we're on, for Beastas to try and close down Casper. Could still happen.
It could still happen, but we're saying about Merck trying to overtake these people. Like, he's got Matter in front of him, who's only on 5-lap old mediums, so them tires are not going to be that badly worn out. So Matter might prove a wee bit of a tricky customer for Merck here. I don't think it'll be as easy as the previous overtakes.
He's got to get this done fairly quickly.
Jesus, as we said, he's pretty. Oh, Jesus, there's contact between the two of them. I don't think Matter actually expected Merck to be there, but Merck just he's a wee bit weaving. He's probably a wee bit he's not happy at that, but to be fair, Merck had a much tighter line and was entitled to go for the move down there. It was just, to be fair, you wouldn't expect anybody to make a move down there, but he has made it, and he's pretty much going to get Matt Tybus down the straight.
I think he was just surprised. He did well to catch that, to be fair, did Matter well to catch that, but this will be a very easy move for Merck. I'll tell you what though, they're closing quickly on Scuba. That gap is 5.4 seconds before Merck even gets to the fray here, so Scuba might be losing a few more positions on track. Merck's gone very, very deep. He should have the traction though.
Yeah, he does. He's safe. Matt was pretty close, but I don't think he's going to be able to challenge into this corner. No, he's not. The best thing for Matt and Matter to do on Adam is to literally just sit behind Merck as much as they can and let him drag them along.
If he can, yeah, if they can do that, obviously his penalty there is an interesting thing. But I'll tell you what, Adam has had very good pace on those hards. His race pace has seemed very, very strong. He's making those work.
He is, to prefer making them work. Like, despite him being on the hards in 9 laps, like, he's still within a second of the guys in front who are on better mediums.
They are eating into Scuba's time hand over fist. Look at those tires, they look bad. This is going to be close to puncture territory. He is struggling so much. And it's not just like Merck is super, but look at the amount of, like, it's Merck, it's Matter, Adam, and then you got Wesker a bit behind that then, but there's a lot of cars to come at him. if
Like
things go wrong.
just look at Scuba's tires; they look thin.
They're done. Like I'd say he's lost about 3 seconds in the last lap. Hold on, I'm going to check the lap times.
They
lap for Scuba,
they are
40.
thin.
He did a 45 the other lap. Not sure what happened there. 40.7, 40.4, and you look at Merck. 37.3 for Merck.
Jesus Christ.
Matt's in the 38, 39. So.
Oh, Matter's going for a move on Matt. The two Matts are going side by side. I think Matter's going to take it. And Adam, to be fair, has a lot of straight line speed in behind as well. They might even make this 3 wide. But they're not. I think Adam's going to sit in behind, but Matter makes a move down the inside. Actually, to be fair, Adam gets a better bit of traction than Matt Tybus, but I don't think he's going to have the traction to get past him as Alonso in behind passes Wesker. But no, Matter's made the move. Matt Tybus sits behind, and then Adam. And we're saying this. Look at Merck, half a second now. He's pulled over a second this lap.
That 45, by the way, for Scuba was one on the VSC was out, but it's consistent 40s for him. So he's almost 3 seconds off the pace compared to Merck. The result is going to be as you see.
To be fair, you got to respect him for trying to take them to the end, but it was a bad. It looks like it was a bad strategy call, as Merck's just pretty much going plain sail up the inside.
Yeah. Looks like we know what the way to go was then.
Yeah.
2-stop. Well, I say 2-stop, really 1-stop, because look at Casper and Beast. I know they're a bit quicker, but and seeking up that gap is now under 3 seconds. So he is closing. Must if Beast will have enough time though. So now it's going to be interesting. Adam's pace is really strong, by the way. I was looking at it. He's in the 38s consistently on those hards before he got to this traffic. Matt was in the 39. I know Matt's obviously got older tyres, but Adam's pace is looking strong. Could still get himself a podium out of this, Adam, if Merck's tyres die off. He's in that penalty range where he's got 2 cars overtaken in the meantime to get them.
Yeah, he does indeed. And with Scuba's penalty, and Scuba's penalty, he's going to drop down to P7. Behind. Oh, Adam just up against the wall there. Matt did squeeze him a wee bit, but Adam was just going straight through, and he has. So Adam on them hard tires has still passed Matt, who we were expecting to gain a lot of pace through this last stint, but it shows the tires are just giving up to him after 14 laps. So if they're giving up on him after 14 laps, surely Kelspers is going to be giving up on him as well. But BSAS is going to be too far to pull that gap in. Like, that's 3 seconds and basically 2, maybe 3 laps. That's going to be tough.
3 laps. Yeah. Unless they die off completely, which we're seeing the difference in pace with tyres that died when you're seeing it with Scuba. To be fair, I think Alonso took his tyres 14 laps and they were pretty toasted. So this is the longest someone is taking those mediums. So who knows? It could end up going back to Beast. It could still happen.
It could, but I think the reason why Scuba's not pitting is because he knows he has that 5-second penalty and he doesn't want to serve it in the pits.
That's exactly why he hasn't pitted, to add insult to injury with it, and he can get that removed then.
Yeah.
But
oh,
you just hear afterwards, but he's just
look at this.
dying on those tires, absolutely dying.
Graham, like, just right on board of Matter. Look at his rear tires. They look shot. He looks like he's like grip on them or anything. Oh my god! Like, he's still getting decent traction to be fair, but it just no, he's not. He got a massive wiggle there. But Adam, look at Adam. Adam's here, not messed about. Look, oh my god! Look at how quick they're catching him down the straight as well.
They're going into the wall.
What the hell happened there?
Oh, Scuba's out. Masher is out. I was on board with Adam when I saw it. The sea just parted for Adam there. I mentioned how it was a dangerous straight, and I saw it again. I need to see it again, to be honest.
Oh, I was watching Adam and I just seen Scuba and Matter just absolutely taking each other out. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know if one of them was. I don't know if Matter was squeezed or if Matter like went into Scuba and they both went into the wall. I have no idea. But Jesus Christ, that was a biggish crash. But look at Beastas, 1.3 seconds.
I was just going to say to you, we got a big race on the front. And you know why? Because Casper's in the 38s and Beastas is in the 37s. So just in the PB that last lap, Beastas 37.7. Another PB in the second sector 1. He is coming for Casper. And to be honest, I don't think there's any defending this.
But look at his ERS. So Beastas is only 12%. Casper's got 55.
There's so many traction zones here that might not matter. I'm not sure what Casper's doing. He needs, like, there's 2 laps to go. you're not using. He's got to use it at some stage very, very soon. Maybe he's just saving it for when Beastas does get in his DRS. But he's playing a risky game with the tyres that they might just give up on him.
Yeah, that is very true. But I was just actually watching the YouTube comments. Matter actually commented saying so obvious and going there. So maybe Matter was going to the inside and Scuba didn't expect it and cut in, and that's what caused the both of them to hit the wall and just cause carnage. I have absolutely no idea, but according to Matter, Scuba should have knew that he was going that side for on the straight, so that must have been what happened.
I need to see it again. I was on board with Adam when it happened, so I literally saw it from an on-board perspective, but I need to watch it again. But meanwhile, there's plenty of time for that talk to happen afterwards. Last lap of the race, and Beastas has DRS. Can Calsper's tyres live with any of what's to come?
That is true, and Beastas, if Beastas pulls this off, that was a very smart strategy call from Beast, because I didn't think that them hard tyres would have kept up with Calsper, but it turns out he has closed quite a lot, and the two of them haven't got any penalties. It's just going to be a straight dogfight on the track. And to be fair,
Calsper not using his ERS still then straight. I'm not sure what he's doing at this stage.
I just don't think Calsper thinks that Beastas is close enough. He's waiting to the other back straight where he's just going to deploy the whole thing, because he knows Beastas isn't going to have much left. Like, Beastas is only 20%. Beastas will run out before he even hits the DRS zone, while Calsper can use that the whole way down the straight.
Problem is though, like, Calsper is capped in terms of what ERS he can use. He's always using it now, but he's always using ERS, and he's capped on how much he can use a lap. So he might run out of his allowance at this rate. Let's see.
Well, let's see him now. He's just deployed every single bit of ERS he has. He had 60%. He is now 15% left, so he deployed 45% of it down that straight. Beastas has absolutely nothing left. So I think Calsper has actually probably called that perfectly well, and is probably going to hold on here depending on how he takes this last section.
I think he may have just judged it just right. We'll see if he runs out of his allowance towards the end, but it might not matter because they're very much now on even footing. It's all down to tyres. All down to if Beastas can find any opportunity. You gotta go for it, right?
You have to. If he gets the chance, he has to go for it. Like, you can't do any disrespect if he does.
He's going for it!
Oh my Jesus Christ! He's taking him out.
Beast is round, and he's gonna let him back through. It won't have any bearing on the race result. Calsper is gonna come across the line to win the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Oh my gosh, he went for it. To be fair,
yeah, he did.
Wow, fair play. I mean, fair play to. I respect the move to go for it. I respect it to give it back as well.
Yeah, like as was said, like, he has to go for it in the last corner, and he did. I did catch it, but I didn't catch it like on board. I caught it on the broadcast. It did look pretty good because the two of them just spun literally. It was just a sequence, like, it was symmetrical. They both just spun the exact same way. But then, to be fair, Adam gets P4, so Adam had a fantastic result there as well, and so did Alonso, and Matt managed to climb back to 5th, so it was still a good result. Matt and Kelsberg got 18 laps out of them medium tyres. Fair play.
Did very well. I think we saw a lot of different approaches with the tyres. I think ultimately the best one was what was the one that Beastas went with. Stay out during the safety car, put on the hards. I think Beastas, where he lost that race, was he ended up in traffic after his stop, whereas Calsper just had to renegotiate. I think it was mostly Scuba, but his traffic was a bit less than what Beast had to deal with. And I think that was because remember, even when Beast caught Scuba in Sector 3, he lost a good bit of time in that as well. So I think Beast made the correct decision out of everyone today, but just ran out of laps and just caught some people at the wrong place at the wrong time, but two equally deserving winners today. Yeah, two equally deserving winners. So Calsper does take the win, Beastas will take 2nd, Merck and Adam will be 3rd and 4th, then Matt 5th, Alonso 6th, Jono 7th. But Jono was absolutely nowhere all race and managed to finish 7th. That's what happens when you actually finish the race. Wesker finishes 8th. I'm not sure if Bomber actually finished the race or not. He did.
He finished, so he was just a lap down, so Bomber finishes 9th, and then Scuba and Matter were so close to the end, but a bit of contact between the two of them, and it was so unfortunate because the two of them, Scuba was doing fantastic, to be fair, on them 24 lap own hards. Like, I think he would have still been able to hang on to maybe P6. I think it was just a bit unfortunate, but then them two of the DNFs, and then you also have Gamer Paco, Kieran Trapp, Kevin, Kagino, Lyronix, Jetty and Chubbs, who have all DNF'd as well. So Graham, I did say I'd be looking to see if we see 13 drivers. There was 9.
You were well off in the end.
There was 9 drivers. I didn't expect 9 now. I expected maybe about 13. But yeah, that's pretty much that race, and Alonso will pick up a point for the fastest lap as well. So he managed to do all right. To be fair, Merck wasn't that far off the fastest lap. He was only like 54 thousandths of a second off. So
to be fair, they were very similar in terms, because when the VSC came out, Alonso had just pitted and Merck had just pitted as well. So they both had an equal chance to get that. And Alonso won this time around.
Alonso did win this time around, but to be fair, that's going to be pretty much for me and you, Graham. Hopefully it was a good return to the TMC commentary box.
Wasn't it?
Was it a good return to the TMC commentary box, was it?
It was good, alright. I've seen plenty of worse races than that, so can't complain.
But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for me and Graham. I'm not sure what his availability is next week. He might join me, he mightn't. He'll let me know during the week anyway, but if he'll be here next week anyway, so it'll be the two of us, but if he isn't, then it'll just be me. But hopefully, because it was quite fun to do it with someone else this week instead of myself, because I'm just bored. I'm just like sometimes bored and all talking to myself, you know, nobody respond to me. But yeah, hopefully he's back next week, but we'll soon find out. But I can't even remember what the next track is before I even do the outro, because I need to get the stands in front of me, but I need to go into the Discord to actually look at it.
If you don't know, I certainly don't know.
Sorry, the next track is Spa. We have Spa, Canada, and then Austria.
Spa. Very good.
So we have 3 good tracks coming up next. Well, a lot of guys are going to say Canada's not a good track, but I friggin' love that track. It's the best track in the game. Best track in the game. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it from TMC anyway. It'll be 8 o'clock next week where you'll see us for Spa. And Graham, would you like to say a goodbye?
Yes, it's been fun. Spa always throws up some good racing, so it should be an exciting one for the drivers and for whoever is commentating as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.
And
until next time.
We'll see you next week.